Ryan here coming to you with a brand new video and in a brand new life tonight. And as you can see, my subtitle tonight here is about getting rid of the anger. And the reason for getting rid of it because it is holding you back. It is keeping you where you are. All right. So, a lot of us have been walking around with a lot of anger because of what happened to us in the past, and we are bitter about it. You know, we are still resentful. We are still holding grudges, still. And this is not particularly easy, especially if you were in the right and the other person were in the wrong. Then you have some pretty solid reasons to hold on to the resentment. All right. So this is when you're going to have to seriously start to look at how do you want to live. I mean, do you want to remain in an angry state or do you want to create the change? The change in your life so that way you can actually see things from a different perspective. Because the anger is just, it blinds you. It prevents you from moving forward. It holds you back. It keeps you back. You are losing friends. A good portion of the time, your families and your loved ones don't want to be around you. So it's hurting you. And this is when we're going to have to seriously do something about the anger. This is not how most of us want to live. We want to live in a state of peace and calm. We want things to come to us in a way where it's far more peaceful and more relaxing. We don't want to have a lot of conflict, a lot of unnecessary troubles, problems, and worries with other people out there when we step out there into the world. All right. So, anger is something that we have to work on, and it needs to go. It needs to be banished from our lives. All right. So, dealing with the anger, I understand a lot of people are. Hi, Valentina. All right. So, work on the anger. All right. If you have a method that works for you, please go ahead and implement it. But I'm, not too surprised if most of you do not have a method that you can implement into your life to push back the anger. Because this is something that you have to intentionally go out to fix and develop over a long period of time. All right. So, anger, resentment, bitterness, hatred, all those. These are things that doesn't add any real value to our life, our lives. So, what he's talking about? Okay, I am not sure what you're talking about, bro. Yeah. All right. So here we go. Working on anger. All right. So here's something here. Don't be so resistant. Get out of resistance, because that's part of it. That would cause you a lot of problems if you are, if you are in resistance, where you are trying to fight something, especially If it's something that is true, don't fight it. Try to find a way how to work with it. All right? Because at the end of the day, we cannot defeat the truth. You know what I mean? I'm not sure what he's talking about there at all, but anyways. All right. I'm not sure what he's talking about there. Hey, Christy, can you shut up for a little bit in the chat? If what I'm not sure what you're trying to say here about anything at all. Just shut up, please. Um, I'm not gonna put up with any of that stuff here. What you're talking about there, I'm not gonna tolerate any of it. All right? I'm just not in the mood for it tonight. All right. All right. I will not put up with any of this stuff because this is just come off aggressive and attacking here, and I'm not gonna put up with any of this stuff. Believe me, you will see for your own self. Um, we're just not gonna do it. All right. So I want you to come here and just be cool in the chat because I'm not doing that with you. Period. All right. So, um, we have to learn how to develop systems. The systems has helped me a lot to, to live peacefully and calmly. You know what I mean? So this is why we're saying creating systems in your life. It's probably one of the best things. One of the best things you could ever do is create a system, and this is going to help you. Yeah, I just don't like when people come on here and trying to attack, in these aggressive ways, and it's just not funny. I don't think it's funny at all. Please do not come here and try to attack. You know, it's just annoying for you to come in here attacking, the host. I don't like it. Please don't attack. So try to be more relaxed and listen to what I'm saying here because it's so much bitterness and anger sometimes doesn't help at all. You know what I mean? Cause more tension in our daily lives and tension with tension with other people that we do not want to experience. Okay. So I just have to check you on that right there because I cannot do it, man. I can't do the attacking, the aggressive, trying to, you know, talking down to somebody. It's just not funny and it's not cute. This is not how you get your point across. It's just not the best way how to do it. Find a way how to say things so that it doesn't come off as you are attacking somebody else. And that would work perfectly fine for me and the rest of us who are watching. All right. So, defeating the anger. That is our goal here. This is what we want to do because it is not easy to do. It's very difficult because it's automatic. You quickly jump to the the habit of being angry as quick as possible, and that's what we do we do this all the time. We just go straight to the anger, right? And that's okay. But as long as we are catching it and we're getting better at catching it, it's fine, right? Well, we don't want to overdo it because it's not helping, right? So, working on changing from being an angry person to a more calm, relaxed, and peaceful person. That's a job. It's a task. And this is one that you have to go on that road for yourself. Nobody will be able to accomplish this for you. Nobody likes to be angry. And that's the reason why when we get in that state, we want to get out of it so bad. Because we just want to be at peace. Most of us, at least. Majority of us do not want to live in a state of anger, resentment, and bitterness. We just don't. All right. So, some years ago, when I got on this journey here to make the transformation, that's what they call it, transformation. You hear them say it all the time. Meaning you are trying to change, all right? So to make these changes, to make these changes in my life, and I go on this journey. I was out in California. I discovered I stumbled upon, I came across this thing called personal development. Never heard of it before. And I said, all right, let me go see what this thing is about. I started check it out. And I got introduced to books like Think and Grow Rich. I was one of them. And I started to read and I realized that, yeah, if you try hard enough, you can become successful. That was something that has never really taught to me in that way. Then I stumbled upon a 30-minute video by Earl Nightingale. It's called The Stranger's Secret. And I started to listen to that piece of philosophy. I listened to it over and over and over. And what Earl was saying was so profound. I could felt it, at the time. I feel it at the time. And Earl was trying to say that you can become better than who you are if you do things a certain way. And I start to work on taking the necessary steps, necessary actions, and I start to listen to these gurus, and they are saying that, there are certain things you should be doing. They're saying one of them, they talk a lot about running, working out, fitness and health. They talk a lot about this. And of course, they talk about creating wealth as well and all that stuff. And these are things that I was interested in at the time. Because who doesn't want to make more money? And I got on the journey and I started to look. Then I looked and I'm like, all right, what are the problems I have in my life that I need to fix right now? And I continue on to read and study, and I wasn't consistent though, because this was a problem. I wasn't consistent, and I wasn't disciplined, and I wasn't, I was committed to a degree, but I don't believe I was 100% committed to the journey. Of course, I was passionate and everything, but I was lacking the discipline. And then later on, I started seeing a pattern. Some things that I was doing, and the more I do it, I do those daily activities, I realize that change begins to happen. Of course, I have to learn some other things over the years. Some things I can't really say on here because this is internet, But I notice, especially the fitness. Once I implement that into my life, I noticed there was a shift in my mindset. I became a more disciplined person. So I started on this journey here. And I started reading books, and I realized that reading book alone is not going to help you. You can read all the book, you can read all the book in the world you want. It's just not going to help you. Because the way how our subconscious mind works. Because our subconscious mind works from our subconscious mind learns through repetition, or it learns in another way. When you go to sleep at night, you can plug in your earplugs in your ears, and you can rewire your mind that way, because that's called hypnosis. So it works like that, or it works through doing the repetition, repeating the same thing over and over and over and over. So I realized that when I was reading the books, it worked to a degree, but it wasn't effective in changing my subconscious mind. My conscious mind was changed. I was sharp. Brilliant. I could tell you this the information about what they're talking about. That was perfectly fine. I could have done that. But I realized that my subconscious mind didn't even wasn't even touched because I didn't understand how to change my subconscious mind. When I started listening to one Bob Proctor, and he said back in 1960 or 61, when his friend Ray Stanford gave him Kelton, what's up, bro? He said his friend Ray Stanford gave him a copy of Think and Grow Rich to start reading. And Bob Proctor said he would read that thing every day over and over for a number of years. And then he started listening to this long playing record from Earl Nightingale. We know today that was a stranger's secret he was listening to. And he would listen to those two things every single day, many times a day, read the same book over and over and over until he goes from not making a whole lot of money to earning over $1 million a year. And he didn't quite understand what actually happened there. So he decided to sell his cleaning company, Bob Proctor, and go down to Chicago to go work with Earl Nightingale because he wanted to find out what happened. And then so he had a chance to be around Earl Nightingale and his business partner, Light Conan. So he would learn from these men. And then Bob Proctor discovered later on that what he was doing was actually changing his subconscious mind. And Bob Proctor calls that the paradigm, he calls it. And he realized that it's by reading the same thing over and over and over, by listening to Earl Nightingale over and over and over, he was able to change his subconscious mind or change the paradigm. And then he became very successful. So I was reading a whole bunch of books, but I wasn't, the change wasn't happening for me. Not until, hey, William Paul, appreciate you for being here. Thank you very much for stopping by. Not until I start to run. That's when I start to feel the shift. When I start to run and I start to work out. And then when I start to run, work out, and start doing these mental exercises, I notice there was a shift in my mindset. I start to become more calm, more quiet, more relaxed, more peaceful. So I continue on a journey. I continue to do what I'm doing to make sure that I don't go back. I stay with it. So I would work out and run, and I would practice. I would repeat the same thing over and over and over, because the goal here is to become like these people who are talking a certain way. I could use myself as an example. Where I came from, people talk a certain way there, and exactly, the more the merrier. William Paul. So I came from a place where people talk a certain way, and guess what happened? I observed those people, copy from them, emulate them, memorize what they said, learn from them, and then later on down the road, I find myself start talking like these people. One of the talk that I used to talk was poverty. That's what I know. I couldn't stop talking about being poor. That's okay for a little while. But when you continue to do this for a long period of time, talking about poor, being a poor person, no, it's not acceptable after a while. Nobody wants to hear about your poverty. Okay? If you are going to tell this story after you become successful, it's perfectly fine. But to get up and talk about your poverty all day long, I'm telling you, you are going to see how angry or how frustrated you get people by talking about your poverty. They don't want to hear about your problems. They don't want to hear about your troubles and your worries, the things you're going through. They don't want to hear about it. They want to hear about how you lift yourself up out of poverty, how you become better than how you are right now. That is what these people are actually after. That's what they want to hear. Okay? And this is why I recommend, do not mention your difficulties to hurt anybody. There are some people there you can go talk to. Sure, who will hear you out? You can cry on your shoulder for a little while, but nah. For the most part, no, don't do it. It will not benefit you, and it will not benefit them. So shut up. Keep quiet. Have a few trusted people you can talk to. That's great. Your dad, maybe. Maybe one of your close friends, because they can flip and change and turn on you as well. So I'm not even sure if they are good to talk to sometimes. But for the most part, talk to people who are trusted, who you trust, who will give you that space to to relieve yourself of that mental agony, right? So these things over a period of time, how I copy from those people, when I got to a certain age, I noticed, hell boy, what's going on with you, man? What are you talking about, bro? So, what is he talking about, man? What the heck, bro? Right? So, these things over a period of time, my programming over a period of time, has led me to become very angry, very frustrated. One of the things that was bothering me for a long time, I knew that I wanted to be better than who I was. I wanted more out of life. There are things that I wanted to do. I want to get out there and go do things in the world, and I could not do it because the way how I was programmed, I limited myself, limited beliefs, limited thinking. So I kind of didn't believe that I could become better than how I was. And that was a huge problem for me for a long time. And the anger was, pent up. There are two parts to the anger. One part is you want to be free. You know you can do way better than how you are doing, and you are not doing it. It's not happening for you. It's not working out. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I've been doing this for like a couple of months now, maybe. Been shaving my head bald for a couple of months, maybe. So, this is when I said, or maybe a year, maybe I should say, I don't know, Hellboy. So all that anger was pent up inside of me, and I'm trying to freaking relieve myself of the anger. So when the personal development comes around, and I suddenly, it's like a light bulb turn on. Like, dude, you can freaking do this. You can make your life better. You can become better than who you are. And I was like, okay, I need to get from where I am to where I need to get to. And that's when I start making the moves. I have made a couple of moves which has transformed my life. I made one when I was in California, and I made one from California to where I live now. Those two moves has changed my life, transformed my life. Right? So you might have to consider moving, because you need to figure this thing out. You need to become better than how you are. Where you are right now in life, that is not where you want to be. One part of the anger is coming from your programming. How you grew up, the people who you're around, the way how they talk, and maybe these people were not uh, nice people. They were unkind. They say things to you in a mean way. And it was always painful talking to them. It was so much anger and frustration pent up talking to these people. The way how they treat you. Okay? Now, those people are no longer in our lives now. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Hopefully you move as far away as you possibly can from these people. You don't want to be anywhere near them because they are just not good people for to be around. If you want to love them, you can love them from afar. And that's fine. Now, get into the habit of moving your body. Your body needs to be moving. Because we're going to be doing this thing here external and also internal. There's an image of yourself. When you look in the mirror, you see this image of yourself. External image. Go to the gym, get in shape, get strong. Cool? There's another one. An internal image of yourself. Only you can see this image. Those thoughts in your head, those that you hear, sometimes you can see them, sometimes you can feel them. That is the image. That's called visualization. You are visualizing what's going on in your head. And pretty much these thoughts are coming out of your programs. The programs that you were downloaded with from age 1 to 7. And majority of these programs are negative and disempowering. And they carry anger, resentment, and bitterness wrapped up into these programs. And now you have to live with that for a long time to come. And this is when you're going to have to get serious about making the change. They say change your thoughts, change your life. That's interesting how they would say that. Your thoughts are creative. Whatever you are saying now is pretty much what your future is going to look like. Repetition is very difficult. It's very hard. But we must do it in order for us to change our thoughts. You cannot control your mind, but you can control your thoughts. You can control what you say and how you say it. This is something that you can actually work on. And this is something that you must work on. You do not want to get yourself into too many problems out there in the world. It slows you down, it holds you back. Anger will get you into problems quicker than anything else. So we don't want to do that. We want to wash away the anger, wash away as much of the anger as we possibly can. And this is when practice comes in handy. The things that we need to practice, so that way we can have more healthier thoughts. Because we need to go into a peaceful state. Running puts me into a more relaxed, calm state. Especially when I speed run. Like right now, today, I ran 3 miles, but it was more of a sprint. And I did 8.09. Pretty damn good, okay? So, I did that. When I came home, I was in a relaxed state. I work out, I lift weights, I run. Coupled with the mental exercises, this is going to change your life. Hey, Cal, appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for stopping by. Hopefully all is well with you and your loved ones. All right? So, running puts you in a relaxed, peaceful, calm state. Because our goal here is to get to peace and calm. We do not want to be in an angry state, miserable, talking crap to people. They are talking crap to us. That's not the life we want to live. So, I want you to do some things that you have never done before. I mean, you can try to run 10 miles if you feel like doing that. 12 miles, 15 miles, probably should. Change you a little. Change up your shift your mind a little bit more. Give yourself some hard task to do, and then you accomplish it, and you'll feel way better about yourself. All right? Like I said, the self image, the image you hold of yourself, that is what we're up against. And we have to override that image. The one that say we cannot be better than who we are, one that say we are we hey, you suck, Tom. You will never be better than who you are. We have to put up some kind of resistance against these voices that's trying to overpower us and taking us over. So, let's go. Change your thoughts, change your life. I want you to get into the habit of practicing changing your thoughts. Like I said, this is not particularly easy because you're going to have to apply the principles to it, so that way it can work for you. Without the principles, it's not going to happen. All right? So, you must be committed to the journey of changing your thoughts to change your life, because your thoughts are creative. The better thoughts you have, the better your life will be. It's easier. You go through the through earth more smooth, more calm, more peaceful, more easy, more relaxed. So be committed to the journey of changing your thoughts. You gotta be disciplined, because this work needs to be done every single day. And also, you gotta be consistent. You don't want scattered results. You want consistent results. So you need to be doing this thing here regularly, often, frequently, and systematically. Right? So, change your thoughts, change your life, become better than how you are, create your future. If you are in an angry state, continuously, your future will be like that until you shut that down, stop that. Before you will get any relief, any joy, any peace. It will not happen. You're going to have to intentionally shut that down. Shut down the anger. It needs to go. It's not helpful. It doesn't help anybody at all. Right? Tomorrow, I do this every night, Valentina. Right? So, some things to practice. Like I said, get into the gym. You need to be in the gym. Okay? You need to be in shape. Hit the pull-up bars. Hit the ground, do the push-ups. Lift the weights. That needs to get done. No crying, no whining, no complaining. No, just do the work. Step 2, put on your running shoes, hit the pavement, you need to run. This is how you're going to get into a relaxed state. Step 3, wake up early. The best time I think to do this is early in the morning. When you get up and you practice training your mind, training your thoughts, as your thoughts need to be trained. You do not want to get yourself into a whole bunch of problems. This is how you're going to navigate through earth easily, effectively. The potholes on the road of life, you won't fall down into them. You would go around them, or most preferably take a different street. Okay? So that is a work that you have to get done. Change your thoughts, change your life. Some things that you should practice where you can get better thoughts are, hit the ground, do the push-ups, do some running, do some push-ups, find a tree branch, jump up on there and do some pull-ups. I agree with you, Cal. All right? So some things to practice here. Because we need better thoughts. Because we're trying to replace the angry thoughts with more healthier thoughts. Okay? How do you get these thoughts? Where do you get them from? Here are the things that you practice to get these thoughts. Positive affirmations, prosperity affirmations, personal development materials, quotes, and prayers. That's where you get those thoughts from. You want to start sound like those people, and then later on, those words will become your words and they will start sounding more like you. Takes work, takes practice, but it needs to get done. When you get up every day, especially if you are in that angry state, it is torturing God. When I lived in that state, I lived in that state for a long time. And I just wasn't happy at all. And I was trying to find happiness. Absolutely ridiculous. Right? So, I used to just wake up and I hear these voices in my head. Negative as hell. Nothing about a prosperous life or a successful life. Nothing along those lines. I suffered from just listening to those voices until one day, I noticed over a long period of time, those voices disappear and went away. I remember where I was standing at the time when it happens. They were like gone overnight. I'm like, what the heck? So I no longer hear those voices really anymore. At least not intense. They used to be so intense. That was the program, folks. That was a program that I was given to freely. That program was given to me freely at birth. And it continued on throughout my life, not understanding how to even fix the bloody thing. And I realized that when I built my system, that's when I learned that these things become less of a problem for me. I don't get into problems, conflicts, troubles, and worries with other people. I try to practice my behind off. So that way, I can stay on the right side of the law. Don't want to get into any problems with anybody at all. If you come up here with your nonsense, talking crazy, then I have to call the police on you. All right? So, change your thoughts, change your life. The reason why you should change your thoughts, because your thoughts are creative. And whatever you said now, that's how your future is going to look. However you talk right now, that is how your future is going to look. And say, well, don't you have to believe that? You don't need to work on belief. You just need to practice. Stay away from belief. Avoid believing anything. What you need to believe in practice. That is what is going to make you become better. You can't just listen to this one affirmation on YouTube and expect to believe it. It will not work. It probably will. Some people can get it one time and then they run. But for the most part, you have to repeat the same darn thing over and over and over. Hey Shane, what's up, man? Appreciate ya. Thank you for stopping by. Right? But it's the repetition is what you're going to use to change your subconscious programs. Guys, that needs to change. The way how you talk right now is causing you a lot of problems. People who are struggling with anger, I'm talking mainly right here, right now. Even people who are not struggling with anger. Maybe you are struggling with poverty consciousness, poverty thoughts. You're going to have to train your thoughts. It takes work. It takes practice, day in, day out. Apply the principles to it, plus action. That will change your life. All right. I am doing good, Shane. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. How are you doing? You know. So this is what we're talking about here, folks. You have to intentionally do this. in order for you to see the changes you want to see. Your thoughts are creative. And you gotta understand that. Whatever you said now, it's gonna come back to bite you in the butt. How do you wanna talk? You wanna talk using the most beautiful language? Or you wanna talk in a, what are you talking about, man? Give you a shout out. I mean, last time I did that and somebody tricked me, so I don't do shout out anymore. I don't do shout outs anymore, man. I said something that I shouldn't have said. So no. Mm. Yeah, I said, yeah, one guy read some stuff on there and I said it, and yeah, it was just messed up. So I thought, so ever since that time, I'm very aware of shouting out people because, like, I did, I'm not saying you at all, Shane, because, but people come here to troll me and, screw me over in that way and make me feel, stupid. So I avoid that saying anything along those lines. All right. But I'll have to run off of here, folks. I have to get out of here, man. Shane, it's all good, brother. When you're in Durango, man, let's link up, man, so we can catch up and meet each other in person. You know. Yep, for real, Kel, dude. Yep, they came and I said some things here. I'm like, fuck, man, this was just like, come on, you troll me like that, bro. Yeah. All right, folks. Appreciate y'all. Take care. Bye bye. Talk to y'all soon. I will see you soon in a brand new live. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below. I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much for being here. Bye bye. Talk to you soon. Have a good night.